What's up, guys? My guy Alex Pruitt at 72 Sold. He's been crushing it, selling houses for way over their asking price, and he's going to get you in your forever home for under what you want to pay. Guys, he's been crushing it. He's one of the best realtors in the game with the executives over at 72 Sold, and he cares about you and getting you in your forever home. Make sure to follow him on Instagram. He's going to take care of you guys. Message Alex Pruitt.
Fast car, she a NASCAR for me. Put me in overdrive. Fast car, she a NASCAR for me. Always wanna change up sides. Ooh, baby girl, gotta slow down. Before we drift off too far. Even if we race another go round, you're my fast car, she a NASCAR for me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast that brings you all things and all people right here in the Valley. Guys, we've been crushing it so far. We had Cynthia from Fabulous Arizona come in last week, and this week we're going to do one better. With me, I have one of my buddies who's one of the best bartenders in Arizona. He's been crushing it, and he also started a lifestyle brand called Root Bitters. Richard, how you doing, my man?
What's up, dude? What's up? How are you?
Good, buddy. How's your day going?
Good.
Yeah, you been busy?
Yes, very busy.
I was going to say I've been following what you're doing, and it's like every day you're doing something that's like just stepping it up from the last one, man. It's crazy.
It is. Every day is a new day. It's constant grind, whether it's like, you know, cocktail development or like Zoom meetings. Everything's Zoom right now.
Everything's Zoom.
it's really strange, but yeah, like video content, you know, cocktail photography as well, and then like consulting with restaurants.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just doing a little bit of everything. I've been loving watching your Instagram. Honestly, like it's making me want to turn into an alcoholic again and just start drinking a bunch of drink. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds so bad. But you actually, before we get going, you brought some stuff with you.
Yeah.
What did you bring?
Yeah. So we got a couple cocktails here. You told me you like bourbon the other day. So
we had bourbon last time.
Yeah, so we're going to continue on that road.
Let's do it.
So yeah, I have a coffee, kind of infused bourbon that I had at home, and then I mix that. It's basically an old-fashioned with a little hint of coffee. And then over here we have something from the island, which has a little bit of banana, some cardamom bitters. It's a little softer, sweeter. So whatever you want to go with, I'm going to mix them up, and then...
Yeah. I'm going to let you do your thing.
We can take it from there.
Dude, the island one sounds bomb. I'm not going to lie. But I also love coffee. I'm just going to let you do it and crush it, man.
Yeah. I'm just right now transferring ice, disposable cups.
Yeah. So we brought the disposable cups, and they had a little ice that melted because it's still hot here in Phoenix.
Jeez,
I know, right?
All right, so let's do this here. Okay, so... setting those to the side. We got the coffee. Let's shake this guy up a little bit.
I love how you just have it in like little jars too.
Yeah. These are jars that I put my bitters in.
Okay.
Little 4-ounce Boston.
It's the elegance, man.
Yeah, these will be good though.
Oh.
So this is the coffee, old fashioned.
Man.
Classic old fashioned, just a little bit of a cold brew in there.
Oh yeah.
And then we have another variation of the old-fashioned. Instead of simple syrup or sugar, we're doing a banana liqueur and then cardamom bitters.
Yeah, I'm going to get this on video as well. Just a little dumb. Oh.
All right. I'm going to pass you the banana one.
Let's do it.
There you are, my friend.
Yes, sir.
I'll take the coffee.
All right, we're going to do a little cheers right now. All right. Cheers. Thank you, my man.
Yes, absolutely. Let's try these.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That one's a good one.
Nice.
All right, so take me through how you make like these. Like, do you just have a bunch of bottles at home? How did you go about making these two drinks?
Okay, so I used to be the biggest fan of bourbon.
Okay.
And old fashioned was like my cocktail to go. It kind of used to be how I would define a bar or restaurant or the bartender.
Yeah.
I would always go in and order the same drink. I don't do that anymore. I think it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of like leading up to like just them to fail in a way because like everyone has their interpretation or riff on a classic, which is great, which these are those. But so now I'm kind of open to the other day. I just want to kind of like see the menu, taste the menu.
Yeah. Well, you want to try stuff out. Like whenever you're going somewhere, you want to like taste something new because like you said, people make it differently. So one might be really, really good at one spot, and then you go somewhere else and it's absolute ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I now more focus on kind of like the foundation and like the fine details, the layout, the steps of service. Those are the things that like really get me excited.
Yeah.
Because everyone can make a great cocktail now.
That's true. There's like so many websites you can just go to and like Google how to make it.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything's built off of a classic. So you can't copyright a drink.
For sure.
So
well, and I saw
why
you
not
make
give
them.
the recipe.
Yeah, and I saw you make them at the City Vodka thing, and it was like an event that you put on almost.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I walked out of the bedroom and there was just like people surrounding it. There was video cameras. Is that part of the thing that you love too? Is like the ambiance that goes with making a drink?
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's like it's almost like being on a stage because everyone wants a cocktail. Everyone's excited to drink and get a cocktail, and they have fun. They interact with the bartender.
Yep.
And it's just like nobody ever is disappointed or has like a bad taste in their mouth about getting a beverage.
For sure.
So they're fun. Like I love doing events, like guest bartending or like creating signature cocktails for, you know, a space or occasion.
Oh yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, when you came back, you had the tray in your hand, you were passing around drinks.
Yeah.
It was like you were at the fair or something, and everyone's just grabbing for one. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
It could be a frenzy sometimes.
And you got to be careful. So I got to give you credit too, because to anyone that carries a tray full of drinks, I don't know if you guys like stalk my Instagram, but I did a story where like it was in COVID and I had the tray full of shots and I was like, yeah, you know, pumping it up. Boom, dropped them. Like all 6 shots, just dropped it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that again. And then they're like, no, let's go get the lights and let's make it like cool. And like Scott's. And I was like, no, like I just spilled. I don't want to do it again.
Right.
So they made me do it again, held it up, just turned it like this. Boom, just spilled all over me. I was like, I'm done. That's like 18 shots that are already down the drain right now.
Yeah, serving drinks it's a tough job, honestly. Yeah.
I give people so much credit. But let's go back. So first time you really started getting into being a bartender or just alcohol in general, let's go back to then.
Yeah, so I kind of like worked my way through the ranks with hospitality. I was, you know, like back in 2011, 2012, I was just like working at like a local bar, kind of like close to the house. And this was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And, you know, I kind of just was like, it was a paycheck at the time. I wasn't really focused on making it a career or anything. And I had this motorcycle accident that kind of left me out of work. And then during that time, this was like 19 months that I was out of work. I kind of like honed in on like studying and kind of like digging deep with like arts and crafts, just doing everything at home. But it was all kind of food and beverage related because I loved like, you know, either cooking at home or making cocktails. So I was like developing like my own syrups, shrubs, bitters, tinctures. And then I found kind of like a small niche with bitters because this was like the forgotten ingredient behind the bar.
100%.
Everyone knew about like just one bitters flavor, which was, you know, the classic standard, which is amazing. But nobody really kind of like shed light on anything else with it or, you know, and back in this time, no one was really like creating their own bitters.
For sure. What is a bitter? Before we go on, like, explain what a bitter is.
Okay, so bitters are it's a combination. So it's botanicals, fruits, herbs, spices, some flowers, anything kind of like that will macerate into a high proof liquor, and then you add a bittering agent, which is like a non-compotable. Okay. So, but that gives it the kind of bitter component.
Gotcha.
And then you'll cut it with either you know, molasses, simple syrup,
like
agave.
A little sweeter, got it. Okay.
Yeah, so you kind of tone it down because the alcohol is going to be really high.
Oh yeah.
You're basically macerating with that very high proof liquor, and that's how you get your bitters. So you know, there's the star ingredients, whether it's like lavender or, you know, for instance, like, I mean, now there's everything honestly with like from coffee to cardamom, but yeah, bitters are really cool. It's kind of like the spices for cocktails. So it's like the blending agent. So when you're creating a cocktail, it pulls and grabs everything and kind of marries it all the flavors together.
Okay. I had to know because when I loved your page, and root bitters always attracted my eye, and I respect like the branding process in general.
Thank you.
So like the bitters, I was like, I've heard of it, but I'm not like 100% sure on it. My dad's talked to me about it. I don't think he knows what it actually means, so I had to find out. But let's go back to your story. So when you very first started out.
Yeah, so I had this accident, and then I was recovering, and then I just was doing bitters on its own, just like as a hobby.
Okay.
And then I would kind of like bottom up, no label, just very similar to this empty bottle here. And I would make cocktails at home, you know, and my friends and stuff were like, yo, you should like go to bars and try to sell this and spread the word on it. So then I kind of developed a name for it, and I, you know, was doing some branding with it. And basically after that, like within, I would say a year and a half, the brand was developed, and we kind of locked down 2 flavors. Okay. Which was orange spice, which is kind of the staple flavor.
Oh, wait, that's a good one.
Yeah, very versatile with all spirits. And then the second one was black currant, with undertones of lavender, which is really good for like cognac, gin, rum as well. It's kind of everything that orange spice doesn't really highlight that much. So
for sure. And so you started just like running through LA doing like going to different bars and everything like that.
Yeah, because I had a lot of connects within like bar managers, the ownership and stuff. So I would go to them and be like, hey, yeah, like I got these bitters, I'm making these bitters. They're like, yeah, like let's bring it in. And then they would put it on the menu with a cocktail, fly through it. And they're like, can we order some more, you know? And so, you know, I had to patent the flavors or whatever, and, you know, lock down the ingredients and produce some bitters, and that's how it kind of took off.
Gotcha.
But it's now evolved into something
so much
more. Very different, underneath the same umbrella, of course. But yeah. Yeah,
and let's talk about what it's kind of came to now, because now it's like a whole lifestyle type brand that you've kind of just built around yourself. Why did you move like strictly from, you know, bitters to now the whole lifestyle brand?
So I still do the bitters for other brands.
Got you.
But I wanted to keep the name just because a lot of people knew me by that name.
Yeah.
I was kind of like
you branded it already.
Yeah, it was like people would introduce me as like bitters or root. And I kind of liked the alter ego. So I was like, I'm just going to roll with it. Yeah. Like, it's cool. So long story short, like I kind of just like developed the brand within like marketing, because agencies were reaching out to me and saying like, hey, yeah, we have this brand that wants to like, you know, do some cocktails with you or do a cocktail video, like as you as a bartender making a drink. So, and then like, can you do that? And I was like, yeah, perfect. I can do that. You know, here's my deal. My name, I'm going to go by Root Bitters, you know, like not my actual name.
Not your actual name. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of birthed it that way, and it took some time to gain some momentum, but it was pretty fun, and it was cool, and like people liked it. The name was catchy, you know. It wasn't just like, you know, like Nick, you know.
Yeah, no,
not that Nick's forgettable at all.
It's generic as hell, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, when people say like Mayo, then like at the launch party that we officially met at, so many people just came up and were like, "Oh, side of Mayo," you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like I would rather almost have that, because if you know me by that, and I've only been branding this for a couple months now, like that's really cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that we had already talked, we had kind of like just messaged a few times, I think, and then we met there and kind of like got the full ambiance and then saw the drinks and everything like that.
Right.
Like I know you as Root Bitters now. Yeah. And that's why I asked you beforehand. I was like, you know what do you, how is it Richard, Rich? How do you want to do it?
It's crazy, man. Yeah, definitely. But I like it. I mean, it's just a good vibe. Like I'm okay with not people knowing my real name.
Yeah.
You know, and if they do, that's even better than, you know, they maybe kind of dug deep and did some research or whatever. But like Root Bitters is fine. Like in the past few years, more people have introduced me as Root Bitters than Richard. So
yeah,
totally cool with that.
But I mean, let's talk about the connection. So we obviously like met through mutual connections, and you had talked about back in California, you had already knew a couple of the bar owners and everything like that. How big has that been for you, just to like jumpstart this whole thing?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I mean, like I said before, I was working kind of my way through the ranks from like every single position within hospitality. And then within that, I was working within different bars, whether they're nightclubs, like speakeasy type bars, or kind of like gastropubs or high chain restaurants. So I kind of developed a blueprint for myself as far as creating cocktail programs and what I liked. Because if you're talking to a cocktail geek, people that love cocktails, they can kind of identify exactly the person. If they follow people that create programs, they can be like, oh, this is Nick's program, this is Richard's program.
They can pick it out like right away.
Yeah, whether it's from like the glassware, like European glassware or American glassware or vintage glassware, or if it's from like the garnish or the way that like the steps of, you know, creating the cocktail.
Yeah.
There's a lot of geeky stuff with it. So like people get like, and a lot of people just kind of like go blind by it. They don't even recognize it.
Yeah.
But if you go to a bar with somebody that is, you know, kind of focused on that stuff, and when I go to a bar, I'm a total mute.
Okay, you're just quiet.
Yeah, I don't like to make myself present at all.
Okay.
Like when I tell myself, you know, I'm gonna go in like, okay, I'm an etiquette coach, or maybe I'm like a teacher or something. Like I don't go in as hospitality because I just want to experience the service, because I feel like sometimes it'll shift a little bit if they know that you're in the industry.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there is another catch to that. Like if you are industry, they hook you up hard.
I was gonna say, it's almost like a food critic. Like, you know, you're gonna get your meal comped at that point.
Yeah.
And you know they're gonna bring it, but at the same time, like, you just want to see it in like its normal pattern.
Yeah. So last night I went to this bar that was like a brand new concept.
Okay.
It was an existing bar. I'm not gonna say the name because we probably both know of it. It's a local spot, but it was actually their grand opening. That like, yeah, it was like, so
what was it like?
I mean, I was the only so I was early. I'll give him that. I was a couple hours early.
Okay.
The opening started at 8 p.m. I got there around like 6:30. And but you know, I just kind of wanted to check out the space and see what they did different with it, and check out the menu, of course. But I had a cocktail. It was cool. Definitely like, you know, think that it's got a little bit of like work to do. Sometimes people open too early. Like you only have one opening, so you really got to create a great team. You got to have great training, and then you got to see the whole thing through.
Well, and that's something that I think a lot of people overlook, right? It's always like, we need to get it done right now. Mm-hmm. And there is the concept of like right now or quality, right? And if you're in the hospitality business, it needs to be quality, because you need to have people coming back. Yeah. It can't just be like, okay, let's open now because everything else is opening.
Right.
That's great. Everything else is opening right now, but you are going to have to stay open long past this pandemic if you want to be successful. And I think that that's something that some people overlook. I've already gone to some restaurants in some different places where I'm like, you guys really open and you're like not even prepared. Yeah. I went to a restaurant the other day and they didn't even have a Caesar salad. I'm like, how do you not have a Caesar salad when like you have it's a salad place? Right. I'm like, okay, one of those types of things where you look at and you remember and it's like, you know, was it really basic? Probably. But did that kind of put a weird taste? Like, for sure, because they weren't ready. But
yeah, it's tough, man. Like even with food, like we could talk about food for a long time as well. Like pairing
food
like
and alcohol are my jam, dude. Are you kidding?
It is. We should probably go out and continue this
right afterwards. Definitely.
Yeah. But like if you don't have the food right and you don't have the cocktails right, like it's one of those repetitive things. Like when people leave that space, you know, they're going to tell their 5 friends, and those people are going to like, it's going to branch out and tumbleweed into like this big mess. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. So
it can go downhill fast. We were at a restaurant with a big group of our friends a couple weeks ago. All of us left with like a bad taste in our mouth, just like not good service, not good drinks, not good food. We were like, why the hell did we go there? Like, we're definitely probably never going back. Unless like something like major happens, like new man, like you never know. Yeah. But I want to get back. So you talked about a cocktail program. Yeah. What the hell is a cocktail program?
Okay, so cocktail program. So like cocktail programs are very crucial for ownership and for business, because you can make a lot of money within selling booze.
Very true.
So like
my tab gets doubled at a restaurant because I get alcoholic drinks.
Yeah. So. All right, so first we're talking about costing of cocktails. Okay. So, actually, let's backpedal a little bit and not talk about costing. Let's talk about developing the concept of the cocktails. So it wants to be on brand, you know, like so whether you're opening a bar that like looks like you're in Tulum in Arizona, so you want to create those cocktails based around that vibe. Then second, you want to team up. And there's a lot of distributors out there that are have amazing products. So you have to share some love with certain distributors. And then the costing has to come into play. Now, this is when it becomes like, it's almost like trading an athlete or something. And instead of the athlete, it's a brand, you know? Yeah. Whether it's a tequila company or vodka company or whatever.
For sure.
Who's going to play ball? Now, within that, like, you can't just pair any, like, tequila to make the cocktail great. Like every tequila has a different flavor profile.
Definitely.
So there's the ones that you want, which is like your top 3 athletes, and then there's the secondary.
Okay.
But we don't ever let anybody know this stuff.
No, they don't know which one they are. They don't need to know.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone's top 3 for sure.
Exactly.
And then, you know, from there you build, because you don't want if you're selling your cocktail at $14, you want your cost to be like, this is inside information, but like,
Let it out. Let it rip.
Like, you want it to be like $2-3.
Okay.
You know, you want your profit to be pretty like up there.
Well, that's any business.
Exactly.
I mean, like,
same
I
thing
can't,
with food too. Like,
yeah.
you know, when you're getting a Caesar salad, like, oh, I could have bought a whole, like, you know, 20 pounds at Costco for $4, and you're selling this for 15 and 18 with chicken. Okay. That sounds about right.
Literally, like, I'll tell my girlfriend all the time, you know, we're going to go to a nice restaurant. And I'm like, cool, I'm pre-gaming this restaurant. She goes, why? And I'm like, because if I go to this restaurant, I get a vodka soda, it's $10.
Yeah.
I can go buy a bottle for 18 and be trash walking into this restaurant. Like, I don't know. That's just me.
I used to be the guy that took a flask in my jacket all the time.
So it's not just me. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, taking a flask is, like, you almost have to go through that phase in life where you're just like, all right, I'm going to pull this out because I don't want to.
No,
the
like
prices get crazy.
Whenever I see someone in the bathroom with a flask or like down the corridor or whatever, like I'm like,
because they gotta
let's be
sneak
friends.
Yep.
Let's hang out. Like you're on my level right now. I'm down with.
Oh, I love it. But the program, yeah.
Yeah. So back to the program. So you figure out the costing and everything, and then you know, like you want to spread some love around. Like you want to figure out like what the concept is. You know, we'll go back to the Tulum vibe or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's pretty big with Arizona. I feel like everyone's heading there, but
it really is.
So like you'd focus probably on agave spirits,
okay.
Whether it's like mezcal or you know bacanora or a tequila. Mm-hmm. So like maybe 75% of your menu is that, and then you have like one cocktail that's you know vodka bourbon
for sure.
But or you can blend spirits as well. Like a lot of people like don't blend spirits necessarily, or they get afraid if they see it on the menu. It's like, if you're looking at the menu and you say like, oh, we have bourbon and we have rum together in a cocktail, and the girl had a bad experience with rum, she's gonna just
toss that out.
Yeah, she's boom, I'm done with that.
Yep.
Like, so it's, you kind of gotta like think about everything and everyone's interpretation on like how they drink and how they think.
And you gotta offer variety, because like you said,
exactly.
like it's not an alcohol, but I can't drink plain Red Bulls anymore because I had too many vodka Red Bull nights when I was in the prime.
Yeah,
so
that's a strong drink,
dude. So like when I can't, like any other type of Red Bull, I'm in, but like a normal just red, I will throw up.
Really?
And so vodka shots is one for my girlfriend. She's like, no vodka shots. Yeah, like I don't know how people take vodka shots and don't just pass the hell out.
Yeah. I'm a hard no on that.
But so like let's talk a little bit about you, like drinks that you've made. I want to hear the best one you've ever made.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And the shittiest one you've ever made, because you gotta have diversity.
Yeah, no, I still make crappy drinks all the time. Like if I wasn't making crappy drinks, I wasn't like doing the
pushing
the
the limits.
Exactly, yeah, because I love to push the limits, and sometimes like you don't know if it's going to be good unless you really kind of experiment with it. Mm-hmm. So for instance, like I'm working with this brand right now, which is a fortified wine. So like a lot of the time it's not a star ingredient. Okay. So like it'll be a modifier. Yeah. You'll use it as like, if you were having 3 ounces of booze, it would maybe be 0.5. Okay. But I'm looking to make this the star ingredient. So I'm like, it's, you know, essentially a wine-based cocktail, but I want to introduce either tequila or gin into there to kind of like, you know, give it a little bit of body. A
little spice it up a
bit. Yeah.
You got to.
So I've been playing with that. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to say that's my best one, but I'm R&D'ing right now pretty aggressively. Okay. I have a partnership with this brand that is a fortified wine from France, and they're doing like they have an amazing product.
Small flex from France. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Reporting live. Yeah. And but yeah, it's an amazing brand. It's kind of like bartender. There's a lot of things that are bartender secrets out there. This being one of them. Like a fortified wine, like, you know, can be a little kiss on a cocktail sometimes, and that's like a little play on words with bartenders
for sure.
But I would say the best cocktail that I've ever made. Like I said before, I was a bourbon head. Like, you know,
love it.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot of bourbon. But the cocktail that you're having,
Dude, this one's amazing.
Thank you, by the way. Yeah.
Holy cow! Like I'm about halfway through, and it honestly every time I take a sip, like it, like last week I drank it straight, and it was like, zing, like a little bit. This is like smooth.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Mine too. I'm gonna take another sip, and then I'll continue on to the.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Sip round 2. I need a little pause break anyway.
Yeah. So the cocktail that I did was I was blending 2 spirits. So this was a rum and a bourbon, and then I did an Amaro, and then I did the banana liqueur in 2 types of bitters, which was orange, my bitters, orange spice.
Nice.
And then Angostura, which is an aromatic bitters. Okay. So essentially, like what you're getting is kind of a Manhattan and an old fashioned.
Oh, mixed.
Mixed together.
Okay.
And then the banana cuts through a lot of that and mellows it out. And then, you have the 2 types of bitters, and then I would hit it with a little bit of lemon zest instead of the orange, which is the classic, old fashioned garnish. Yep. And that was it. That was a very easy, crushable cocktail. Everyone loved it. Guys, girls, very approachable. Wasn't too strong.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. So a lot of people don't like to get that zing of the alcohol. They like it to go down smooth to the point where they 3 or 4 and they're like, wow, okay, that was way too easy. So, and I actually was going to ask you, so you talked about using the lemon instead. You use a lot of garnishes, right?
Yeah. I think the garnish is one of the key, it's a secret weapon, honestly, because if people see a cocktail and it has this crazy garnish on it and it's walking by and it passes by 8 tables, you could potentially get 4 orders right there.
Easy. It's like the veil on a bride on her wedding day. It's like that statement piece.
Exactly. And whether you have a smoked cocktail, which essentially is kind of a garnish as well, or you have something that's a fire, the cocktail garnish is lit on fire. That's just free advertising, and people look at it and they're like, yeah, I want that. I don't care what it is. I want it because I want to take a photo of it. Yep. I want it on my table.
Yep. The phone eats first. That's literally, I hear so many people say that the phone eats and drinks first.
Definitely does.
And it is really cool because, people take pictures of it. They take little clips, little boomerangs of it. It was one of my friend's birthday the other day, and they were out at Toca Madera, I think, and that's all they wanted was they don't even really drink. They just got the drink because it was lit on fire, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, they're great cocktails there.
The ambiance I think is the best part. So I'm not a big fan of mixing drinks. I'm normally mixed to get shitty more than mixed to look good.
Yeah, what do you drink when you're at home? What's your go-to?
Oh, tequila. Okay. Yeah, so it used to be. Actually, it depends on the mood. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
So it used to in the military was whiskey, straight whiskey, whatever you had, whiskey, Coke, whiskey. I don't even care. That was drinking it. And then it went vodka, Red Bulls for longer than I care to even tell. Came back from the military and kind of just moved on to tequila. Yeah. And then every now and then, if it's a guy's weekend for some reason, I don't know why, rum is my shit.
Yeah, rum.
A little rum and Coke, I think it's because it doesn't cut as deep. Whiskey will hit. If you have a strong tequila, that hits you really, you taste it and it burns down in your throat. Rum doesn't do that. Yeah. Rum just kind of chills and
rum kind of hits me different too. I don't drink a lot of rum, but when I do, I'm always having a great time.
Vibing.
Yes, let's just give me more rum. I feel I just want. It's just don't let it stop.
No, little Captain Morgan, you can pay for that, Captain.
Spiced rum.
Spiced rum. No, yes. But I think it really is kind of crazy, the different styles of drinks that you can make with different types of, tequila or vodka or rum or whatever have you. Yeah. Do bitters work with tequila and everything?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, bitters will work with any spirit. And even if you're doing an NA cocktail, a non-alcoholic cocktail, bitters is a good way to kind of just give a little bit of body or to it, if you will. Because bitters started out as a digestive.
Gotcha. So that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a stomach cure. So that's how they originally started. And then they were just introduced into cocktails. There's a lot of history with it. Yeah. We don't have to go too deep into it right now, but the origin of bitters is, back to the 1800s.
Yep.
And yeah, it's now like obviously kind of recognized as a cocktail spirit, but originally it was a digestive.
Well, and that's something that I think is amazing about you, is that you dive into like the history of it, and like, you care about the full process of making drinks and everything. It's not like, okay, like, cool, I can do cool tricks and I can hold it up and like toss the bottle behind my back. Like, no, like you want to know and be educated. Like half the words you've said today, I'm just like, yep, I don't really know like for sure, but I know you know, and I can tell that you know. So I'm like, okay. And it's cool to see that, because everyone thinks when it comes to alcohol is just to get shitty.
Right.
And you can literally enjoy like a nice drink and go on about your day.
Yeah,
and like
absolutely. Have
a podcast, sit down and just kind of hash it out.
Yeah.
But one thing, obviously, with COVID and everything, how much were you? I wish I was just in your house with you.
Man.
How was COVID for you? Just experimenting with different shit.
Yeah. So when COVID first hit, we had kind of like this, I don't know, like 2-3 week. It might have ran on to a month of just constant party.
Yeah.
So my bar at home is pretty aggressive, and
like it should be.
Yeah, like people. So like when I'm working with a brand, like they'll send me product that I can like R&D with and develop with, and then they'll send a product, an additional bottle that I can either shoot with or that's like a full bottle.
Yeah.
Some brands are like, oh, we'll just fill it up with apple juice or Coca-Cola or whatever. But like every now and then they'll send me a real bottle.
Yeah.
The brands that do, thank you so much, because like it doesn't go, unnoticed or wasted. Yeah. But yeah, so I was like drinking a lot and having people over, and like we were, going live on Instagram, making cocktails, like, what do you guys want to see? And like we would do a full spread, and we would just like have a fun, like, quarantine inside. It was a small group of us
for sure,
but yeah, we did that, and then we kind of like were like, oh, okay, well, we just finished like 16 bottles within a week, so we should probably like lay low for a little bit and like get on our green diet or whatever,
get a little cleanse, let the livers just kind of repair themselves.
yeah I did this challenge actually that kind of birthed like a lot of like new ideas for me. So I didn't drink for 75 days, and I just finished the challenge. It was this 75 hard, and I just finished, but like it's opened up a lot of doors for like other cocktails, whether they're like NA cocktails with like brands that are like doing non-alcoholic
for sure
spirits or aperitif, or if it's like CBD cocktails.
Yeah, that's a big one now too.
Yeah, so like that was really cool. I've never done that before, and it was definitely like a blessing. Yeah.
And I've done a cleanse. I did a 6-month cleanse once. That was when I came back from the military.
Damn.
Too many vodka Red Bulls. It was really, really bad. But no, and I think that's something so cool. So that's another thing. When I bring people on this show, I always ask them how COVID went. I'm sure people are probably getting annoyed at me at this point, but it really changed the game for so many people. And I only bring people on where they took advantage of that time, because this is a time that you get to perfect your craft. You get to try different things. Like obviously, like it might have been hard to work with different brands, and we're gonna dive into some brands here in a second. But you took the time to research, to study, to try new things, to try and continue building your brand when everything else in the world was freaking stagnant.
Yeah, like I mean, so for me personally, like COVID was at first like kind of hard because like it hit the restaurant industry really.
Slam that door shut.
Yeah, it was like boom, we're done. Like nobody even knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And still to this day, like a lot of great, amazing bars and bartenders and hospitality people in general, like are out of jobs or they're not working as much as they were.
Yeah.
But for me, like at first I was kind of just like enjoying the moment because like I didn't have to work till 3 a.m. Because at the moment I was like working for a bar that was like, super popular. And
which bar was it?
Toca Madera. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Sunday.
yeah.
That's how you know the drinks are good there. Yeah.
So their drinks are good. Yeah. And shout out to Toca. Yeah. Good people there.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh well, this is great. Like I can, wake up whenever I want, and I don't have to necessarily like work till the wee hours of the night. And but like then I started thinking like, okay, well, like let's utilize this time wisely, and like what can I do? Like it's a chance for you to kind of explore things that check things off your bucket list.
Definitely.
And if you have something that you wanted to do, here's your opportunity to do it. You have literally like no excuses.
Yeah.
Because everybody has time right now. And so I just started blasting out to brands and kind of like I rebranded myself a little bit as well.
Okay.
And kind of just like reached out really hard. I was like on social media a lot.
Yep.
For the right purpose, as far as business goes.
That's what you have to do. Though.
Yeah, like I was, it's people ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, how did you get this deal or whatever?" Like, I'm like, "Oh, I sent them a DM." Like, it was that easy.
People underestimate the amount of like sending DMs. I just had this conversation the other day with somebody that, half the people I've had on this show I had never met before, and I DM them. And they read it, and that's how we instantly started talking. Like, you really underestimate it, and it's like, well, might as well. Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They don't read it. They say
that's fine,
no.
yeah. And then you move on to the next. I'll send like 10 proposals a day.
Yeah.
And this little like short little message introduction, boom, like blah blah blah, like proposal, thank you, done. And then they'll reach back out, and then I'll set up the email, send them the email. If I get them on the phone, it's a done deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Because then you get to bring out your personality. Like, there's only so much you can do when it's like a DM or an email, right? To like set yourself apart.
Yeah.
But when you get that phone call, that's game.
Yeah, and everyone's like looking for something different, and everyone needs, different things accomplished within their brand or whatever. Whether it's like cocktail development or you just want like still shots of like cocktails with the bottle in the background or whatever. Like, everyone wants something different. If we can get on the phone and just spitball some stuff and some ideas, like, we can make it happen.
Yeah. It's so much easier than trying to email, like, this is my idea. Like, just freaking call me and tell me the idea. Let's get a plan going, and then we're going to be able to go. Yeah. But so you reached out to a ton of brands, and you actually got some brands, like, that hit you back. What are some of those brands?
Yeah, so a lot of the brands, like, first of all, I reached out to brands that, like, I want to work with. Like,
definitely.
I don't work with anybody just because, like, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll pay you this amount of money, or, like, yeah, we want this. Like, I'll specifically work out with brands that, like, I want, like, my name attached to. And, but with that said, the whole beverage world has kind of evolved into something really crazy within the last year or so. And I feel like it's going into, like, a new dimension. Seltzers are really aggressive right now. So,
they're
like,
taking over.
Yeah. So seltzer cocktails are good. So we have a partnership coming up with a seltzer company.
Okay.
Which is
I know which one it is.
Yeah,
which is it's a really cool company, guys. You'll know the company when he comes out with it.
Yeah. It's one of the leading ones.
Yep.
And then, like, some other brands that are just, like, doing different stuff. That are, have a huge backing and a huge following, but are kind of still boutique, but doing really, really, really cool stuff. And it's like a bartender's like go-to bottle that they'll grab. Yeah. So we're doing some stuff with that. And then obviously CBD. Yep. There's a lot of CBD beverages coming out that we're kind of experimenting with. And just like some non-alcoholic stuff, whether it's bottled tea. Yep.
Well, and I think that's what's cool is, like, working with brands, obviously, that want to work with you is really cool. But when they start posting your stuff and they show your brand, that's what's really cool, because they obviously entrusted you with their brand and you crushed it. I mean, I look at your different posts and everything like that, and you just absolutely, like, the drinks look so good with a brand that, like, I would have never thought of. If I can't say this, then I'm sorry, but the RX one. The RX bar.
Oh, yeah.
That one, I saw the drink and I was like, wait, RX? Like the bar that's like really chewy. It's super good. It's healthy. You put that into a drink. I was like, okay, like I got to ask him about that. Like, talk about that one, because you said this one might have been a little difficult.
So when I first got on the phone with them, so they had reached out and they were like, yeah, we're looking for like some cocktail people to make some cocktails with our brand RX bar. And I was like, RX bar? Like, what? Wait, the protein bar?
The protein bar?
And I was like, yeah, I've had that before. I was like, I needed a bottle of water to drink that or to eat that, to consume it. So, and then I got on the phone with them. And first of all, I kind of did a little bit of research. I didn't do enough, obviously. But once I got on the phone with them, they were like, yeah, like, well, we have this kind of spread. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a peanut butter texture, but a little softer. And they were like, we want to like have you use that into a cocktail for the holidays. And we have like this whole, this whole line of limited edition flavors, whether it's like vanilla bean or pumpkin spice or walnut. something. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, that sounds amazing. Send me the product. Let me kind of experiment with it and see if it even can like be something. And it was really good.
Yeah.
So we created this pumpkin cocktail. That was the first one. We're now doing a vanilla one. We have some other ones up in line, and then we're kind of continuing that on because they're developing other spreads as well with all their flavors. So, but yeah, that's kind of like, I love incorporating just not only the beverage side, but like incorporating food on every level into a cocktail, because there's a lot of things you can do, whether it's like reducing it down, making a syrup, or infusing. Yeah. You know, there's just like endless possibilities.
Well, and food and drink go hand to hand. So it's like,
they do, yeah.
You know, how do you want this to taste? What do you want it to come out at? Like, how are you going to drink this with like a certain meal, whatever have you? But to incorporate an RX bar, I think is like the craziest thing ever. Like that's really, really cool that they sent the spreads and everything like that. Go check out his post, guys. The drink looks amazing. Honestly, one I want to try. But I want to talk about your design of like your whole brand. So one of the things that I had to learn was that there almost needs to be a rhyme and reason to everything that you post and everything that you show the world. Yeah. Why did it almost turn into like a men's lifestyle plus like with alcohol?
Okay, so that's a great question, by the way. I've actually never answered this question, but
yes, that's what I'm you're getting exclusive content right here on the Side of Mayo show.
I think it was just like really digging deep into like my personality and what like the things that I loved, which is like I wear a lot of black. Yeah. And then I wear a lot of like silver, a lot of jewelry. I like accessories, whether it's hats, flannels with leather jackets, boots, whatever. So like I wanted to kind of like tie that in with my grid of social media. So I just kept true to myself and kept true to the brand, and just developed it that way. Like, I mean, the whole lifestyle brand is everything from like stuff that I would represent or the stuff that I would have in my carry-on bag if I'm going on a trip, whether it's like a bottle of cocktail, if it's jewelry, if it's a leather, wallet, or if it's, a Stetson hat. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I just kind of like, kept true to myself and developed, my whole mood board is very dark and sexy and kind of like pulls you in. It's a little provocative. I like to kind of push the boundaries a little bit, whether, on the cocktail where it's like, the RX bar, which it's kind of like, different and stuff. It might not be for everybody, but like for people that want to like experiment and try something cool at home that's new, like, let's do it. Like, here you go. Here's your recipe.
Yeah. So. And have that little bit of edge. So like for some reason, dark like really attracts people. Yeah. I wear a lot of black shirts, a lot of black pants. Like I really rock as I'm wearing a white t-shirt today. And then, but I understand that completely. And so that's why I kind of wanted to ask you about that, because it's a lot of blacks, a lot of drinks, a lot of colors, but like very like subtle almost. Yeah. And I think that goes perfectly with like exactly who you are. Like from the second I met you, when you were mixing the drinks at City Vodka, you ripped off the flannel and you just had the wife beater and you were making the shirts. Like, people were losing their mind. And they're like,
literally, like, so like my color palette for fashion or whatever is the same. Like you go in my closet, it's all black. And then like I'll have some earth tone colors or like a few white tees or wife beaters or whatever. Yeah. But like the cocktail pops because it's usually color. Yep. So like for if you're thinking of it aesthetically as like a photo or video or whatever, like that's going to like draw the eye in. Exactly. And then everything else, like I don't have to be the star, of course. So the cocktail, what I'm creating is the star.
Exactly.
But yeah, and obviously you want to be comfortable in your own skin. And that's what I'm comfortable in. So
yeah, I mean, I love it. Like people try and become somebody different when they're trying to build a brand. Yeah. Like they want to do something that they think everybody else is going to like. Right. Well, you've built something that you love and now you can incorporate into like your entire lifestyle, and now you just have to live every day. Yeah. And you get to do what you want to do. And I love that, man. But I want to do something real quick. And I didn't tell you this. I didn't tell anybody this. I want to take a couple pictures from your Instagram of drinks. Okay. And I want to know like where the whole story came from. I want to know everything. So I'm pulling some up right now. Okay. I'm gonna put up the picture here in a second. We're gonna give you an like easy one. Okay. Actually, this isn't easy at all. This is actually like purple. All right, I got to screenshot that. Yeah, here we go. All right, I'm gonna drop the picture and I'm gonna let you tell.
Okay, yes. So
That
this is
one.
Empress Gin cocktail. So first,
You can take my phone.
okay. So I developed this cocktail. So this garnish, I bought these things at Whole Foods. These are dehydrated apple slices.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, I want to create a cocktail with this this garnish. So this picture, which you guys that are listening to this right now, and you can't see this, but
No, they can see it. I'll put it up.
okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna put it up for you. But so this is actually taken on this really this cool coffee table book or whatever. But this cocktail is it's kind of a riff on the gin and tonic.
Okay.
With undertones of like apple, which kind of like gives the essence of like light, fresh, soft. But yeah,
refreshing.
exactly. Yeah. So, but the whole cocktail was built off the garnish.
Okay.
So when you're kind of developing a cocktail recipe or whatever, it can be anything from, like, I get a lot of inspiration from food recipes.
Okay.
So if I'm having a dish at a restaurant and it's an amazing dish and it has like 5-6 different ingredients, or whether it's garnished like with something amazing or the colors captivate me,
Yeah.
I'm like, how can I incorporate this and create it into a cocktail?
So, and I think the colors captivating you is like the biggest thing. Like you said, the best drinks that you can sell are the ones that walk right past you.
Yes.
It's not what you read on a menu, because you'll see one ingredient and you'll be like, I'm done. I don't want to have that. But when you see it, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, you want to hit it on like all senses.
Yeah.
Like, so visually, like when you're reading the menu, like, you know, your mind can, you know, fuck you over and just be like,
Yeah.
oh no, you're not gonna like that.
Yep.
But if your eyes see it and like you smell the smoke, or maybe you see the fire, or maybe you kind of like taste the saltiness of the rim or whatever, like that will pull you in and like, okay, yeah, you know what? Like, let me order one of those. Like, let's just get a round of those.
Yeah. Let's just get a round of those for
Exactly.
everybody. They don't even ask the price, which is the greatest part. All right. Drink number 2.
Okay.
All right. This one has tequila in it, so I got to know about this one. There you go.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this was for a brand, which is very fond of my heart, Vulcan Tequila. So this is amazing tequila, by the way.
Vulcan. All right, write it down,
Yeah.
guys. I'm gonna need to
Yeah,
get some
Vulcan
too.
Tequila. It's produced on like volcanic rock, so it's got a little smokiness to it. So it's almost like an introduction to mezcal. Nice. So it's just a little like whisper of smokiness.
Okay.
Not full blown mezcal. But this is kind of like a riff on the Manhattan with mezcal.
Okay.
So like it's got a little more body to it. And it's obviously, and you guys will see this photo, but it's elegant. It's in a vintage glass.
Yeah.
Expressed orange with a little bit of flour. Amazing cocktail. Very simple, basic, but like you just kind of like twist it up a little bit. And
Yeah.
like I said before, like all these cocktails are built off of, you know, classics.
Classics, man. And I think that, like, we had already talked about it before with like the ambiance of it, but you know, when you have a drink in the proper glass, I think that changed everything as well. Like that one was in a little bit more of a high top glass, a little like what are they called? Not a goblet.
Like a coupe glass?
Yeah. Like that. And I think that like kind of brings it out. Like I would have never guessed that that's tequila, but then you read it and you're like, wow,
Right.
okay, that looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Okay.
And this one, I gotta search for it because it was freaking crazy. All right, this one, this one.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this cocktail. All right, so if you guys, this was teamed up with a CBD company.
Yes, I read that. So
Yeah.
then we got to talk about that.
So this was kind of a riff on a cocktail called The Last Word, which is a very, very, very classic cocktail. It's an
Okay.
amazing cocktail. But the difference with this is usually that cocktail served with no ice in like a coupe or martini glass. So I did this. You can see the green, which has got this like amazing color, this glow to it. That's an aperitif spirit that is very rare.
Yeah.
It's I don't even think it's in the States, honestly. They sent me a bottle of it, but it gives this really kind of like herbal texture and aromas to it, but obviously the color as well. And then green chartreuse, which has a little bit of the green color as well.
Gotcha.
And then the lime juice. But yeah, it's a riff on The Last Word. And then what I did with this is the garnish. I actually So this cocktail was shot at my house, and I kind of plucked this, I don't know, this leaf or whatever off of my neighbor's bush, and the purple and blue is this edible kind of powder.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and so we used it in this other program that I worked on, and you kind of like will dip or kind of powder coat any garnish with it. But that's what it is. It's all edible. It'll dissolve into the drink. But yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, so that one was crazy, obviously, because it's green.
Yeah,
so,
it's a beautiful color. Yeah.
Yeah, and with the whole like little, I guess, like plant with what you did, like that just like struck my eye, and it I'm gonna take this on a left turn really quick, but when I was in, where was I at? I was stationed over in Italy. I forget where I was at, but we had absinthe, like real absinthe, like illegal in the United States absinthe, and it was green. And I remember so I saw that drink, and that's instantly what I thought too. And so I Googled absinthe right here, and it's green. So now it like clicks how it went. Right. But yeah, that absinthe was so strong, and it's like one drink and you're done.
Oh yeah, no, it's strong stuff for sure.
Yeah, absinthe is crazy. Sorry, I had to take that on like a little left turn.
Yeah, no, you're good.
But no, I love the pictures that you post, guys. All those pictures are on his Instagram. Go follow him, Root Bitters. He posts a lot of different things about different drinks, things that you guys can try. Like I said, he collabs with brands, so it's really, really cool to see what he does. It's making me want to kind of experiment with creating drinks. Yes. So hey, who knows? Maybe Mayo. No, we can't throw Mayo in an alcoholic beverage. That'd be disgusting.
Mayo bitters.
Mayo bitters.
Let's go.
But obviously, this podcast is about highlighting people here in Arizona, and so I wanted to ask you, what brought you to Arizona?
So yeah, I opened a couple bars out here. Essentially, like I just came out. I needed a change. I was in LA for like 16 years, and I heard a lot of good things about Arizona, but I was very kind of like ignorant on the state. I thought it was all like desert vibes, beige, retirement.
Yeah, retirement, dude. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I got out here and I was like, yeah, there's some amazing people. There's cool things going on. It's developing like crazy, and it's a mini like mix of LA and Vegas, I feel like. So I stuck here, and I did help open a few bars. And
which bars?
So there was one in Tempe called Cotton and Copper.
Okay.
And, And then downtown Little Rituals, and then Toca Madera.
Okay.
Which is, carrying over from LA. So a lot of my friends were already working there, and they kind of were just like, yo, get on this, Toca Madera.
You need to get on there. Yeah.
Like, so, and I did it, and it was totally worth it. Great spot. But yeah, like I feel like Arizona is a secret weapon with like just, there's some cool spaces. The people are really cool. The vibe's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'm super blessed to even be here. And like I'll probably stick around for a while, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it's a great spot. There's a couple places that I've gone to that we went specifically for drinks. There was one it's right downtown, and I can't think of it right now. That's why I had to look up Little Rituals, because I know that's downtown, but it's not that one. But there's some really cool places out here.
Oh yeah, there's great cocktail bars. Yeah, and amazing chefs as well out here doing like some amazing, food programs, and like just like the hotels, the resorts. It's like a destination like city, honestly.
It really is. And then you have like the speakeasies and everything. There's a speakeasy that's literally like 500 feet from my front door, which I had no idea about until someone posted about it, and I was like, "Oh, we need to go check this out."
Which one is it?
Let me look this up really quick.
Yeah, where do you live?
Desert Ridge.
Put it on blast.
Yeah, Desert Ridge. I forget which one it's called. A lot of people will probably know it. The Whining Pig is there.
Oh yeah, I know.
But it's not that. Oh, it's the Stir Coffee Bar.
Okay, no, I haven't.
Sweet little speakeasy. So it's really cool. You basically walk in, and you like walk into almost like a Coca-Cola cooler, and then you like walk through and go in. Yeah. And that's what I think is so cool about the concepts of like these bars that they have here. I used to live in Arcadia, and there was one right across the street.
Yeah.
Nothing on the front, a little red light on the back, and that's it. That's the front door. And it's a great bar, great drinks, really, really cool drinks. So that's why I wanted to ask, because I mean, let's be honest, like LA, great bars, super expensive. You can charge up the ass there.
True.
So many shows there, like Vanderpump, it's like a whole bar restaurant type thing. But a lot of people like come here because they want to like start their own bars, and they want to start a lot of different things.
There's some amazing talent here that will like do their own spaces, like you said. Like
Yeah.
they'll produce their own bars. And with that said, not that this is a pitch or anything, but I have this amazing idea for this bar.
Oh, you can pitch it, bro, if you want to. Hey, let's hear it.
If anyone takes this idea, like, we're putting it out here right now.
Yeah.
Live. But I want to do this idea kind of like concepted around love.
Okay.
Because everyone experienced love in a way, whether it's been
100%.
good love or bad love. So here's my idea for the bar. Like I wanted, like the name is unknown at the moment. And whether it's like unknown love, maybe that's the name. Who knows?
Hey.
But
trademark that.
Yeah,
shit,
which
man.
is not a bad name, honestly. But like I want to like create the program around like a married divorce.
Okay.
So like if your cocktail is married, you have your cocktail done.
Yep.
It's complete. It's ready to drink. If your cocktail is divorced, you have it separated maybe into 3 different components or 4 different components, whatever the ingredients are.
Wow.
So then the consumer, the guest, creates the cocktail. So it's married divorce. You want your program married, or do you want it divorced? And then you can kind of build off of like the whole theme off of that. Like there's so much to do with it. I think it would just I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like a softie for love with with obviously cocktails and food and the industry. But I think that would be kind of a cool concept that everyone could kind of graduate to. So.
Well, yeah, and you never know like what concept's gonna hit, right? I mean,
exactly.
It honestly, it goes back to what we said at the very beginning, and we'll wrap up with this as well. It's like appearance is everything.
Yeah.
And it can be something as basic as like the little jars that have literally no label on it. I think that's so cool. I love that. I love that that's you. That's homemade. I know that shit's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Your concept, pairing it like married, divorced, whatever, like that concept could hit because. Let's be honest, like it's a shit show to date right now.
Right.
So
COVID, man. COVID is like either breaking people up or
it's not even bringing people together. We can't even say that that's either.
Dude, yeah, it's either keeping people together for no reason or it's breaking them up.
Well, either way, man, alcohol has been a blessing for people during COVID. Let's be honest. I was drinking margaritas by the pool all COVID. I'm not going to lie. But that is all the time we have, my man. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor. I appreciate our talk and our conversation.
Always.
And if you guys are interested in more cocktails or have any questions, reach out to me. You can shoot me a DM at Root Bitters or feel free to email me. A website, the link is there in the bio.
Yeah, I'll drop the link in there, guys. Make sure to follow him. He'll DM you back. And he does a lot of events too. So if you guys need someone for an event, we have the holidays coming up. He makes amazing drinks. His Instagram is literally like his resume. So if you think he can't do it, promise you he freaking can. Go check it out. Guys, it's been an amazing ride so far. I'm loving this. I love the fact that I get to come in here and drink handmade cocktails with you guys and just tell stories. This is the dream. Thank you guys for helping continue that dream. Man, I don't even know what to say. Episode 18, this was amazing. Thank you so much, man.
Yes, let's go. Cheers one more time.
Yeah, cheers one more time. We have like 1 sip left, so that's all it is.
Cheers, guys. Side of Mayo.
Yeah, I had to finish mine. Cheers. All right, guys, that's episode 18. We're going to head out of here. We got stuff to do tonight. See you guys next time. Peace.